It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Texans and the Ravens. All that and more coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, it's the opener of the 2023 NFL season, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Well, CD, new season is here. Lions and Chiefs got it going on Thursday night. You and I were there. What a scene that was. But now here we are a few days later on Sunday. Looking at two teams with great expectations here to begin 2023.
It's always fun to get a new season started, isn't it, partner? Because everyone feels like they've got a shot at the defending champs. They think that they can be the new champs. And here we are getting things going. Let's have some fun.
A new season of NFL football is here, and we're off in 2023 on EA Sports. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense set to go to work, and it's Lamar Jackson now in his 6th NFL campaign who will lead the way.
All the talk of Jackson leaving the Ravens this offseason was just that, talk, as the two sides hammered out a deal that made the highest-paid player in the NFL. And why would they want to separate? When he has the ball in his hands, great things typically happen.
Right to the air is Jackson. And his first pass is incomplete. Well, for the Ravens, Charles, starting 2023 here at home, you know, for a long time, the future of Lamar Jackson seemed to be kind of up in the air, at least in terms of would he be a Raven. But number 8 is out there, and you can bet that makes a lot of folks happy here in Baltimore.
Starting with Lamar Jackson, who wanted to be a Raven. He didn't want to be anywhere else. Second, how about the head coach, John Harbaugh? Now they'll just retool the offense a little bit, trying to expand upon the talents that Lamar Jackson brings to the table and find their way back to the Super Bowl.
So 2 incompletions have led them to an early 3rd and 10. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Jackson. That is caught. He's got the first down and more. Loose inside the 30, inside the 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Ravens are on the board here first in the season opener. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Taken at the goal line. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So here are the Texans now with a fresh face at quarterback. The second overall pick from Ohio State, C.J. Stroud.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
A man coming off a great rookie year, it's Dameon Pierce. And this will be a Texans first down as the tackle made it about the 43-yard line.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
First down, they go right back to Pierce. And able to use his stiff arm for a little bit of leverage before he's taken down. A pretty good game. Absolutely no trouble moving the ball on the ground on the first 2 plays from scrimmage.
Absolutely. You know what I really like? Same guy carrying the ball on both plays, and what drives me crazy is when a back has a nice run, he taps his helmet to go out of the game. I would want the ball again and again and again because you've established really nice momentum, and now you're seeing the field really well.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. Stroud to throw it. To Pierce, they set up the screen. And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7. Well, there you go, Charles, the first completed pass of his young career.
And we expect it not to be his last. Very good to get the first one out of the way, though, as he begins his career.
Here's 3rd and 3. Now here's Stroud on 3rd down. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take over here up near the 40. That's not one that he's going to want to remember, but he had to get it out of the way at some point. His first career interception.
And if he's the guy that they think he is, he's not lapping it off. But he's also not going to let it affect him as the game proceeds. He's going to go back out there, still be the same confident kid, the reason that they drafted him, and go out and play.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. First carry now for Gus Edwards. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Texans are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston 1st down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They go right back to Singletary. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
A first red zone opportunity the new year here as they come up now 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Pierce. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
2nd down and 6 now. Singletary, they'll go up the middle. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. And one of the things we like to hit on every year are the new rule changes. So we got a few for 2023. A lot are procedural, having to do with deadlines and roster construction and such. But 2 kind of caught my eye, Charles. One is the option to fair catch a kickoff and have it come out to the 25 like it does in college. You like that?
I don't like it at all. I don't like it in college. I don't like it in the NFL. I want to have something different. And I really wanted the special teams coaches to be a little bit more involved. But I do understand why the league is doing it. They believe it promotes safety, and it's hard to argue against that.
What about, this is the other one, guys can now wear the number 0. We've already seen some make the switch, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Swift, Braxton Berrios, amongst others.
Yeah, you know something, when we see those guys make that move, I don't mind that at all. All right, a little more expressionism for these guys. I love it. I just think we didn't go far enough. What about 00, like Jim Otto used to wear or Kenny Burrow used to wear? Let's add that back to the NFL jerseys.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Facing fourth down, Baltimore will punt. Jordan Stout out there. Back deep is Tank Dell. Pulled in at the 24. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Stroud. Flush to his right. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete. Well, look now at the 2023 draft class for the Texans. People still talking about the move they made, trading up in the 1st round, becoming the 3rd team ever to make 2 of the draft's first 3 selections.
And what a bold move they made, considering what they gave up for a team rebuilding like the Texans. I think that was a move they felt like they had to make. Got the quarterback C.J. Stroud, pass rusher Will Anderson Jr. They're going to be the faces of the Houston franchise going forward.
Stroud on 3rd down now. Looking deep here for Mechie. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's Cameron Johnston on to punt for Houston. Taken in at the 22. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He's got his man downfield. That's Bateman. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
What my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him?
2nd quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. As they've got it as we resume action. Here's a run on 1st down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stopped.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 40 yards. And the Ravens are able to extend their lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Here's Tank down to return it from his end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, That answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not have the balls go through goalposts.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. The second down throw now from Stroud. Caught left side by Mechie. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. A nice completion there for the first down. And Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week 1. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game has his team right on the brink of the playoffs. And Deshaun Watson has won division titles after having started from day 1.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here we go.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd and 9.
Mustang 19. Cup 19. Cup 19.
On 2nd down, it's Stroud. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. Another completion there, and we think back to the draft in the spring. This franchise essentially handing him the keys to the operation, a top 5 pick. Charles, how ready do you think he is?
I think he's ready for the NFL in terms of size, speed, the makeup of him, the character of him. The key's going to be, will this team accept everything he brings to the game and adapt to it, not just necessarily plug him into something that he doesn't do well.
Well, another completion there, and what a big moment in a young quarterback's life, that first NFL start. And Charles, obviously they want him to win games, but if they're looking at him under a microscope in this first month or so, what do you think they're hoping to see from him?
Well, for every question they'll have for him, they should have for themselves as a coaching staff, because it's not just how quickly can he learn the offense, is what they can teach him, right? How can he build a relationship with his receivers? And, of course, how open is he to learning? And, of course, how open are they to giving him things that he can put in place on the field?
Ready, set.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Ready.
Singletary again. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Okay, ready.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Ready.
On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
Overall, I'd have to say that was just really good team defense, because to me, you can't pin that one on the running back. He had no shot there. He had a man in his face immediately.
The Texans on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4. Now Stroud. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
A chance for a first touchdown drive of the year. It's 1st and goal. They'll run here with Pierce. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. A give up the middle to Singletary. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Devin Singletary, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Texans are back within a score. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there, and each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes it a 14-10 ball game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
And Jackson going to hold on to it again. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. 4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. That's taken on the 25. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Texans will take over. And now out comes Houston. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Rocky Sin there to make the tackle. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. On the handoff, it's Singletary. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
3rd down and 1. Pierce will try to pick it up. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Pierce with a motivated run there, and no surprise he's motivated this season after a late injury robbed him of a 1,000-yard campaign last year and potentially the Rookie of the Year. Even still, the 4th-round pick outplayed his slot with over 900 yards in 13 games.
Now to change things up, Stroud will throw it. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. The he tried to get rid of it. Pressure was coming right in his face, and it turned out to be a bad thing.
And it's so easy to be critical of him in that spot. But when you have all those people bearing down on you, probably his last thought was just get rid of the ball, give them what they want. Unfortunately, he gave it to them too well. Picked it off, ran it back for a touchdown.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Let's spotlight Devin Singletary as this offense comes back out. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. Stroud's throw completed to Mechie. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Here's Stroud. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Taking a shot for Dell here. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Stroud will look to throw once more. He'll let this go deep for Collins. That's caught inside the 20. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. And Stroud now to throw. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
2nd and 5. Stroud now on 2nd down. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to draw that one free.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Stroud out of the gun here. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Robert Woods, as the first half is winding down. And the Texans are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. coaches must really like to see that from the quarterback because he's had the interceptions in this game, but they're able to connect on the touchdown pass.
And teammates love to see that because they know that they miss blocks during a game, but they come back and make them later on. They miss tackles, right? They miss making plays, but the spotlight is magnified on your quarterback. And when he stands up to the pressure and comes back and throws a touchdown pass after throwing some picks earlier, they feel great about that guy.
And likewise for him personally, as a rookie quarterback, has to give him more confidence. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. He'll get that out wide to Duvernay. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So the completion good for just 3. And that will bring up second down. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome back to football.
It looks like we'll have to wait another week to get our first halftime report of the season as we move right along to the second half. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Texans going to take over here to start quarter number 3. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
And they'll go right back to Pierce. 76 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
On second down, here's a run with Singletary. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
On first down, they stick with Singletary. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right to the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
He did a fine job there not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Stroud working out of the gun. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
Back to the ground with Pierce. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
And we often talk about defensive ends setting the edge, sometimes even the outside linebackers. But how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's second and 11. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up first and goal.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Ready?
They run here with Singletary. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Georgia man, Roquan Smith, came in and got it.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Throwing now is Stroud. Escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
Boy, that was lockdown coverage there. He's scanning for someone to come open. But that was great work to blanket everyone. And in the end, he's just got to throw it away.
Big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's third and goal. Third and goal, Stroud. Dancing to his left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney gets to him well behind the line of scrimmage. That is a loss of 17 yards.
Third and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
So on fourth down, Texan kicker Ka'imi Fairbairn comes on. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that'll bring him back within a point. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now, but let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep.
That was a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Play action. Now Jackson. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. It's caught inside the 25. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 48 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. He'll dump this off complete to Dobbins. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And it's caught. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
Catching a first down from Andrews in Baltimore, and all NFL fans are used to seeing those all game, every game from him. 2022, a touch below what he did the year before as the best receiving tight end in the league, but still Pro Bowl worthy with over 800 yards.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Well, this defense, so many things to worry about in the red zone area, but you'd have to almost think that Lamar Jackson running the football, that might be number 1.
It should be number 1. And in this portion of the field where things shrink a little bit because the receivers can't run past anyone because they'll run out of real estate, you should have all eyes on Lamar Jackson when the ball is snapped and try and keep him back in the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that they were surprised he was running it there. They just couldn't stop him, and he ends up in the end zone. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Tank Dell now to return it. This taken in right around the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. Heading out as the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out now joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Maybe rule down the other defense. We'll see. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Stroud looking to throw. Flushed out right. Now throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
And next time, Brandon, I think you might want to consider running it because those defensive backs, they were plastered to the receivers, and they weren't letting up as that play went on.
Incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Stroud to throw it. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here's Cameron Johnston now, standing just about on his own goal line. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and they will take over first and 10. Jackson and the Ravens come up now first and 10 at their own 42. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He finds his target, Beckham. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. On the counter now, it's Dobbins. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And he'll just plow right into a host of tacklers. Nothing there at all, and it'll be second and 10.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Meanwhile, Jackson's throw is on target to Duvernay. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 23. 12 yards the pickup there, good for a Raven first.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now Jackson on first down. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this third quarter of play. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. Here's second and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
This offense so far on third down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is third and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Called by the defense there on third down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that CD, an important one here in the fourth quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes guys on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Houston set to take over. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly.
Here we go. Here we go. Go.
They'll start on the ground with Pierce. Shoves him aside. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 83 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Ready, ready.
From the 32-yard line now, here's second down and a yard. On the give, this is Singletary. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting one more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's third down.
Here now, third and a yard. They'll try and run for this with Singletary. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. While the medical staff checks on him, we'll step aside in this Week 1 contest.
Go.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Ready.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
Ready.
2nd and 10. The second down throw now from Stroud. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Careful, careful.
Pierce takes it straight ahead. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
On second down, it's Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Pierce now up the middle. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
On third down, here's Pierce. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to third and goal.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Stroud. Caught on the slant. A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be fourth and goal.
Completed pass, brings up a fourth down situation. Do you play analytics on this one? Well, what do your analytics tell you about going for it here? I wonder what they would say.
They tell me you're down by this margin, fourth quarter, you're going. Stroud keeps it. Trying to wedge his way in there. No signal. I don't think he got there. He did it. They try the sneak, but not enough push. He doesn't get in. And instead of having a one-score game, they'll remain 2 scores down. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that one, that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Denzel Perryman there to bring him down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. He's got a full head of steam. The race is on. And all the way in for the Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, 98 yards. And the Ravens are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, and getting him in for 6 points. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this fourth quarter. They'll throw it with Stroud here, 1st and 10. He'll let this go deep for Collins. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. So they take a decent shot, CD, and the flag comes out for pass interference.
Yeah, a little DPI, as they like to call it in the business, right? And the farther you get downfield, the more frenetic things get, and the more calm and control you have to remain as a defender. That's a little bit of a slip there, and the penalty will go against him.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little...
And now some disagreement down on that sideline. The red flag is out, and we're going to get a challenge. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge not a successful one, as this will stay an incomplete pass. Now Stroud. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. Stroud on third down now. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And they'll get him down 2 yards shy after a pickup of 8. 4th and 2. So that a nice throw, but it hasn't really turned out to be the grand debut that many had hoped for. His team's down double digits. So what have you seen, CD?
About what I expected, really, because for a youngster making his first start in the NFL, I kind of expected to see these things. A few bumps along the way, maybe not the plays you expect to see or want to see. But remember, he's not going to the Hall of Fame off this first start. It's going to be an accumulation of games before we have a fully accurate reading.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
That confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And now this defense trying to use the clock to their advantage. They'll take the timeout here with 2:08 left. And then they'll have another stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. Now he breaks free in the middle of the field. He's on his way. And he will be taken down, but it is a huge play there to flip field position. And they'll be on the other side of the field as we have reached the 2-minute warning. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of it.
And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson scoring on the keeper from 6 yards out. And the Ravens are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Stroud sets up the play action. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Looks like they're going to keep throwing to the bitter end. This one's long since over, but give them credit. They're going to go down fighting. That one, incomplete.
Here's Stroud. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And Stroud now to throw. He's going to let it fly. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Let's go.
Fourth down, fourth quarter. Here's Stroud taking a shot for Dell here. And he backs it away, and it falls down incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.
I'm already. Shut up! Shut up!
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for Week 1, and one of our early window games here in Week 1 on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record. But everyone's going to have to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between Week 1 and Week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season.
So for Baltimore, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.